What is going on YouTube? This is Acidic Roots on Frenchy Talents YouTube. So this is amongst the fairs like the recent Venezuelan stuff that's been going on, pitches like that. So it's within the product now. Within the fair, there's been some stuff talked about on recent news pitches like that amongst the capture, like the Venezuelan president Maduro, as far as he's physically having the initial aspects of what the conduct is kind of doing with like the seizing of like what's particularly happening with what's going to happen with the property of Venezuela as far as these pitches can happen. So just afterthoughts kind of within the pitch, but it's kind of the product as far as saying within the product of it being kind of more healthy popcorn type pitches. So it's kind of political, kind of Ren and Stimpy type conduct pitches like that, just slapstick kind of idiocy within the fairs, but just kind of pitch. So it's just kind of fair, just like 2 cents kind of being thrown in within the pitch. It's just the variety of this extracurricular type fair to kind of have to screw around about the everyday as far as these pitching apps. So I look after here just being able to say the particular fair about it with the property of Venezuela, which is kind of pitch as far as saying more or less you could say that we just acquired like a country, United States acquired like a country, pitch like that kind of fair as far as saying this aspect of the question, what the fair kind of goes along with this. So this is the product of just getting that into the retaliate getting that into the rotation of it as far as these fairs can happen, just trying to figure out within the pitch and just paying attention like what the product of what we're going to do with the subsequent countries as far as these fairs can happen. Just the aspect because it's not just like picking up like finding like a belt out in the street or some of those type pitches, or finding like a football, some of those type fairs to kind of air up some of those type pitches. Kind of the product as far as looking after like the tone and just paying attention like the fair behind, realizing that the actual country, some of these type products to kind of have it like back in use is kind of within the fair. So it's just kind of the acquisition that particular fair to the conduct. But I look after it. Venezuelans seem more or less kind of mad. It seems like one of those products to kind of the fair, just the rebuke kind of going along with it. A lot of kind of dissentive kind of aspects and just modes of kind of thought and pitches like that. Pretty like more or less for them it's probably pandemonium, but kind of with the pitch just kind of fair, just questioning like the pitch of the furrow kind of about it. Say from like a comedic pitch, you have to say within the pitch behind it, why does Venezuela necessarily, you could say within a comedic type pitch, why does Venezuela necessarily give a damn? If they're that good at finding oil and distributing it, why not take those faculties and set up joint venture rigs in like the Middle East and tax people kind of tenfold? Pitch like that's kind of fair. This is probably as far as getting towards it, just the aspect as far as saying they seem to have a penchant for being able to find oil and pitch like that. Pretty good sentiment on like the oil industry. So it's kind of the fair. It's kind of like the product. If someone, it's kind of like if your car gets hijacked, why not just go buy another one? It's kind of pitch. I just look within it. It seems the aspect that Venezuela is kind of mad because they have the good industry. Now, obviously, the oil setups are probably within Venezuela pitches like that, but it seems like they have a good enough radar to be able to get towards these type of things. So why not just go and get this oil somewhere else and make that money within the same type of pitch? It's kind of fair. Now I realize probably the other countries wouldn't want them kind of annexing their oil, but if they're that good at it, you'd think within the pitch that they'd be able to do it and make some money and then tax those people with their skill set, be able to do it. It's kind of the pitch. I don't know what the pitch. It's kind of the fair as far as saying, I mean, that's what the United States is kind of doing with Venezuela. So why doesn't Venezuela do that with them as far as this pitch? I mean, I know it sounds like within the greed type aspect, kind of within the pitch, but it's kind of fair as far as saying it appears that Venezuela kind of has skill sets the United States doesn't have within those pitches. So why don't they take advantage of it? It's kind of fair. It's kind of smart, dumb type questions, but it's this kind of pitch as far as saying they could tax people tenfold, set up like some sort of rig. You could say if there was that good a radar, they probably wouldn't need Venezuela pitches like that. Then that just makes you further question if Venezuela is like the only good spot left that has resources like that within those fairs. You could say, what about Australia and Tibet? Some of these type places within the pitch as far as those fairs going to it's kind of interest in specifically Venezuela as far as these pitch can happen. It's kind of the fair as far as saying you would think within the product whether or not there's other type places that have some of these oil setups within the pitch as far as like fairs as to why specifically they're the point of interest within the fairs behind it. It's kind of fair. Maybe really just it within the fair, the conduct of whether there's crime scenes kind of going on in Venezuela might have something to do with it, but it's just kind of fair. Just the interest within that product kind of makes you question other type fairs whether or not there's other type rigs about it within those pitches. So it's this kind of product. The bullet point as to why it's specifically them. But yeah, they just need to take that particular vibe and then just go set up rigs other places, pitch like that. And I